Well, welcome back, everybody. We are still here in the media center. I think we basically just don't feel like moving, Jason. I don't know about you.
The day is getting long.
And the rest of it's getting short. And we're joined by our good friend from Richmond, Virginia, the head of NASA Mid-Atlantic, Mr. Chris Cobetto. Chris, happy holidays to you, and welcome to Orlando, Florida. We can't find you in Northern Virginia anymore. We've got to come to Florida to find you.
Well, that's because you have the comfortable seats down here.
Yeah, exactly.
And I got to tell you, this is a very, very, very valuable commodity.
This
at
is
this
the
show.
In the Pits throne of excellence that you're sitting in. This seat, we've already named this seat. So welcome to the throne.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's
You're
always
definitely
good to see
not going to want to get up.
No.
What's in tap for 2010 for NASA? I mean, how can you top 2009?
Well, you just get a little better. You get the things working the way they need to get working, and you just sort of make some refinements. But some really, really fun stuff is with the Hyperfest. We have Bully Dog sponsor has come on as a sponsor, but not just a sponsor. But they're also they're bringing the Superlight trucks in. So at the Hyperfest at Summit Point, we can do. We're going to be the off-road ride-alongs. We're going to get
neat.
We're going to get NASA Rally Sport. We'll be there also giving rides again at Hyperfest. We're going to have the 24 Hours of Lemons.
Oh man,
perfect. We've been talking
24 Hours of Lemons.
About that, buddy.
Are going to be running on the Shenandoah circuit during Hyperfest, and it just really
can't wait.
It just
man, we
continues
are
to get
there.
Bigger and bigger, and and more and more fun. We have a lot of the same sponsors so far that they're back again. I've visited with them a lot this year, so it's great. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. If you want to get on track, and have some fun, it's the Hyperfest and NASA in general is a really great place to do it.
We're going to have to bring Joey up from Net Spray and have him running the 24 Hours of Lemons. We've been talking about this and talking about it. We talked to Jens last Sunday.
Yeah.
During his drift event and said, is that going to come off or what? And he said, oh, yeah, June, I guess it was
June 20th.
June 20th.
Yeah,
June 20th. It's Hyperfest weekend.
I think we had first heard about it back when we did the show at Brian Downey's shop at Auto Expectations.
Right, exactly.
And he mentioned it then, and we were kind of like, wait, we got to hear more about this because we're all excited about it. I think we got to get Brian Downey involved in getting to help us put the car together.
Let's put it this way. Brian's arrival is momentary. We're arguing right now as to whether we're going to run a Volkswagen or run a Datsun. He wants to run an old 240Z because he can make the car last, and he says we're just going to figure out what our lap time needs to be in order to succeed and make it through the entire 24 hours. We're going to have all of us drive for whatever that's worth.
I just want to know where you're going to find an old 240Z for under $500.
Right. After
that's not completely rusted out.
You know what's interesting is, and I don't know what he acquired the car for, but in his shop right now is a completely gutted 71 240Z where all the body work has been done. It is body-wise perfect.
Wow.
Absolutely perfect. No rust, no nothing. We'll have to ask him about that when he gets here. And I don't know that he wants to donate that particular car. Because
my guess is probably not.
So, but there's enough rust buckets out there in the 240Z realm. I'm not real sure what he wants to do. He wants to put a late model motor in it or later model motor, and I don't know what the rules are. I mean, are there actually rules?
Well, the rules are that you can't spend any more than $500 on the car. Now, there are some things that any safety equipment is open. The amount of tires and brakes, because you're going to use a lot of that, so that doesn't factor into it. But basically, that's it. You have $500 to spend on getting the car reliable, able to run, and whatever kind of performance you possibly can put on a car.
This is incredible.
And well, interestingly enough, and there's some fun things that they do too. One of them is they take a vote amongst the drivers, and they crush one of the cars. And so what I'm thinking is, since we're at the Hyperfest, that whoever that vote is, if they can do it before the rollover contest on Saturday night. That what we do is, as opposed to get the crusher, or prior to getting the crusher, that they come over to the rollover contest, which is a perennial favorite at Hyperfest.
Yeah,
and make them roll it over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh
That'd be
man,
fun.
Excellent idea. It's someone asked me recently, what is Hyperfest like? And I said, well, it's kind of like you take an auto race in Woodstock and they collide in the middle somewhere.
It's the Woodstock of Woodstock of racing.
Anything crazy that you can think of to do with cars and at a road course and just have so much fun. You had a great turnout the last time we were there. I think that the weather was iffy, but you still had a good turnout. So, going into this coming year, I think, it's gaining in popularity. I think it's going to be great.
Oh, we were very pleased, really. I mean, because the number of beautiful weather in 08, and we got the same number of individuals. They called for rain all through the all through the week, and it rained a little bit on and off throughout the day, but the crowd was exactly the same. So That's a very positive sign to me, and it's one of those things now where it's our 9th year doing Hyperfest, and it's a must-go-to event, and it's starting to grow exponentially. So it's a fun event. If you like cars, you have to be there.
Well, and in the pits, I mean, we've just kind of embraced it thanks to you, and through our technology now with NetSpray, we can just start tweeting and Facebooking and Twitter and emailing this out to the list. We did that for Jens last week. He had this crazy concept of coming up with the 100 drifters of December. Are you aware of this?
No. Huh?
He wanted to bring in 100 drifters December the 6th on a Sunday, and he's never had more than 75 drifters at any one time.
Sure.
He had 107 drifters.
Great.
And basically we just used the NetSpray technology and tweeted it out there. And he looked at me and he said to me, "How many emails did you send?" I said, 3. And he goes, "Wow, this is really crazy." And who shows up at Von Gittin?
Sure, JR.
Oh, yeah. JR shows up. He's got his original 240 SX car, and he's doing ride-alongs with everybody until it breaks. Breaks, he fixes it. They go back out. Breaks, he fixes it. Goes back out again. I mean, it was just and Vaughn will be here tomorrow. Junior will be here tomorrow.
Yep.
And I think this is an incredible event, especially I applaud you for giving the younger generation, the next generation, the opportunity to do something that fulfills their needs. I mean, they want to be a little bit more wacky than us. Well, Hyperfest is kind of it.
Well, the nice thing is that people are, the kids, you talk about the younger generation, they don't have a whole lot of places to go out there and play with the cars.
Right.
And so we give them the opportunity to not only show up and actually watch all these things, but with the hyperdrives, they get a chance to actually get their own car on track, or the NASA high-performance driving events. So you can spend anywhere from $50 to $300, but you get an opportunity to get your car out there. It goes fast as you want to with a trained instructor in the passenger seat.
With an instructor.
With an instructor, you go through classroom. But, so it's fun. You get a chance to get out there and play, and I mean, a speeding ticket will cost you $300. This way you can go out there and you spend a whole weekend playing, and if you just want to put it on the track for 25 minutes just to see what it'll do, $50, you'll pay $50 all day long to just see what the car will do.
Just the knowledge you're going to gain just going one lap around that place is going to be worth it.
And it's a proven fact.
Right.
If you get your yayas out on the track, you will drive less slower, I'm sorry, and more conscientiously when you're off the track. It's just a proven fact. So, you just take it in a controlled environment, go crazy with it, and get a little bit sane when you're driving on the street. So you're really fulfilling a need for safety.
That's right.
On the street. So that's,
and it's not only just
once.
Sorry, I stepped over.
No, it's okay.
It's not only just once a year. We are. The NASA has events all through the year, and so the nice thing is, if somebody comes out to the Hyperfest, even if that's an introduction for them, it's not like they have to, they have to Jones until the following year to come back.
Right.
They can come back to a future NASA event and either do a hyperdrive during a regular NASA event, or do the HPDEs. And a lot of people start out that way. And just like you said, if you know that you can have this coming, you have a tendency to, well, I'm not going to play on the street now because I know that I've got a release for this passion of mine and for this desire, 3 weeks
Or
away.
you don't want to break your car so that you make it to the event, too.
Right, that's right. Exactly.
And it's interesting because there's a big void in sports car road racing. The other club, the Secret Club, those guys, I mean, they're basically purpose-built race cars. They do have some events that are like a hyperdrive, but they're not affiliated with any of their racing weekends. So you're up there essentially by yourself doing your drive around the track. Well, you guys kind of just shoehorn everything in so that, the Porsche club's out there or the Porsches are racing, and next thing you know, you got a hyperdrive. So you're on the same track. You get this real racy feeling, whereas doing something else on the track like that, it's just kind of like more driver instruction.